Another recipe in the works. Today we're going back to the chocolate chip cookie dough. I've had a couple of requests to make a nice cupcake or a muffin with it, so I said let's get right to work. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to use about 1 scoop, which is 30 grams of the Cellucor chocolate chip cookie dough core performance whey. I'm going to bring back out the Dixie carb counter. This is like a lower calorie carb baking mix. This is just a generic pancake waffle mix, but again, this works well for the muffins as well because it's just simply baking that in the oven. I'm going to use half the container, which is 8 servings, which only comes out to around, I think, 24 grams of carbs and 24 grams of protein, so it's real low calorie. I'm still going to use 8 grams of the sugar-free, fat-free Jell-O pudding mix to help with the overall texture and moisture of the final product. I'm just going to use 1/3 of a cup of the extra fluffy pancake mix that I get at Walmart, sorry. This is just going to help with the overall fluffiness of the final product. A better flour alternative, I should say. Sometimes if you use the low-carb mix straight up, it may come out too dry, but I'm going to see if I can combat that today. A little bit of Splenda, 3 grams, and a touch of baking powder, about 3 to 5 grams worth, and that is everything mixed together in my dry ingredients. Wet ingredient-wise, I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons or 50 grams of Greek yogurt, about 1/3 of a cup of almond milk, which is about 90 grams worth, which I have right here, and then I have 2 stiffened egg whites, which we add in last, and we fold those in. So you take 2 egg whites, crack them, use a hand blender here, put it on high speed for about 3 to 5 minutes, and they'll foam right up, just as you see right here. So I'm simply going to take my wet, my milk, my Greek yogurt, which I have right here. I'm probably going to need a spoon for because it is very thick to get out. Okay, so I'm just going to drop that Greek yogurt right in there. And then the last thing you do is you add in the egg whites and you fold them from the outside in. And I'm going to show you that like I have in my other videos. Okay. Take a spatula, drop it in. It should come out in one fell swoop, as you can see. Then you just kind of even it out, and then you just fold outside in, fold outside in, and you're going to repeat the process until you have your batter, which is fully formed. So this may take a couple minutes. Now that our batter is formed, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees, take some cooking spray, coat my muffin pan, and the batter should be very thick. Okay, as you can see, it should stick right to your spoon as so. That's what happens with the stiffened egg whites. So what you want to do is make sure you fill up your muffin tray about half full. Okay, don't overflow them because once they rise, they may overflow and it may look like a disaster. So take a nice spoonful, just kind of drop it in there, and then even it out. Okay, and again, about halfway full. And what you're going to do is you're just going to repeat the process until you run out of batter. So I like to spread these out, start with the corners, and kind of make my way inward. That way each has a good amount of room to bake. And you can see, about halfway full. So I'm going to continue the process. I have my frosting made in the fridge, which I'll show you how we did that. And then when we come back, we're going to pull the muffins out, put the frosting on them, call it a recipe. 12 minutes in the oven, and our chocolate chip cookie dough muffins, or our bases, are complete. You can see just a little bit golden brown up top, which is perfectly fine. The bottom is nice and fluffy. Now, I talked about putting a frosting on these. If you saw my previous red velvet cupcake I did it with a cream cheese frosting. This one's going to be more along the lines of a chocolate frosting because we're doing the chocolate chip cookie dough. So I took 20 grams, or about a half a scoop of the molten chocolate, 100 grams of Greek yogurt, a little bit over 4 to 5 tablespoons, about 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, which is about 32 grams worth. And I mixed it all up, and then what I did is I transferred it to a baggie. Now, why would you put it in a bag? Well, this is how we put on our frosting. I don't have one of those big things you see in a cupcake creamery, but this is going to have to do. You kind of shovel it all towards one corner, and you cut it off with some scissors. Now, doing so, you can squeeze out the frosting onto the cupcakes. So you can see here that I'm just going to slowly squeeze this out. And out comes the frosting, as so. Okay? And you just repeat that for the rest of your cupcakes. Okay, it looks pretty big, it looks pretty dense, and you can kind of sort it out yourself, but you just kind of get the feel for it, and you go from there. Okay? So, I just completed a couple of them, but again, you could use a spoon if you wanted to, but I'm just going to kind of lay some frosting on there, and then that way, it's all good to go. Gives it a little bit more kick, and also a little bit more moisture for a final great product. Guys, chocolate chip cookie dough exclusive only at Cellucor.com. Bkup20, BKUP20, 20% off, free shipping. Use the code in the comment box below. The directions, the macros, and also the ingredients are all listed for you there as well. This comes out to a full recipe of about 90 grams of protein, 75 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of fat. So it's a great low-calorie alternative. If you eat 4 of them instead of 10, again, you're only looking at a couple hundred calories, which is very good. Okay? So I'm going to frost the rest. But until then, thanks again.